Ah, just listen. Being in and around nature, recreated or natural, has a soothing, calming, and rejuvenating effect on me. This is Steve's Backyard, a recreation of nature. Watch and listen. With me, when I'm in such a setting, I do my best to breathe, clear my head, and allow thoughts and ideas to enter. I reevaluate what I have in the past, accept it as being normal and true. For the most part, as I have said before, we have been brainwashed to believe stuff that is simply not true. Stuff that was meant to soothe the restless soul and to justify the less than human conditions. We have accepted cleverly disguised slave-master, master-slave way of life. And, of course, religion justify this. Suffering is God's plan for us sinners. We have been made to believe in a lifetime of mistaken beliefs. Here I sit and I question everything, even though I don't always get the correct answer. That's because I don't always know the right questions. Today I'm contemplating a few things. 1. The so-called nobility of being a laborer. All our lives we have been made to believe that physical labor is noble and that work for the sake of work is proper and responsible, even though you hate what you do. We have no less an authority than the Bible confirming labor as being good, because when you die, you go to heaven. My argument is not with work, if you do what you love. I once met a man who was a trash collector, and he loved his work. Why? Because we, as a society, throw away so many good stuff, and he enjoyed repairing that good stuff. You should see the artwork that he has collected, because that valuable artwork had a scratch. But what happens to you as an individual when you're forced socially and economically to do what you hate? The rich, they do what they love, and the poor are made slaves to the rich. They do what they have to do. My second thought today is what people say and the lifestyles that they live. Quote, I don't have time for that. End quote. I hear that a lot. Consider your next 24 hours. How many hours for sleep? How many hours for work? How many hours driving to and from work? How many hours interacting with your peers? How many hours devoted to domestic chores? How many hours making your yard acceptable to your neighbors? How many hours spent in preparation for work itself, that is, in getting your clothes prepared, etc. Preparation for work. Now, how many hours just for you? To do nothing, to simply think. I know, you don't have time for that. And the other thing I've thought about is our involvement in our government. Let's face it, we are sheep. We are considered too stupid to understand, so much is kept a secret. We are lied to frequently because we don't insist on the truth from our leaders. TV and false news is complicit somewhat, but in the end we are responsible for thinking for ourselves. Or we should be. But we are blinded by our leaders, which makes their lies more palatable. We are then considered patriotic and good citizens when we remain silent. Eisenhower lied about Gary Powers and his U-2 spy plane over Russia. Clinton lied about his sexuality, even though really it was none of my business. Hoover, J. Edgar, lied about his ethnicity and homosexual behavior. Kennedy lied about Bay of Pigs. Then we have such stories as the Maine, the Gulf of Tonkin incident, all lies. Bush lied about WMD to get his friends to profit from the war. Speaking about wars, The budget on wars and munitions are so high that I can't even give a number. We're presently involved in some 200 surrogate conflicts, yet in comparison, we spend so very little on our own citizens, on education and health. Now to me, and this is just to me, education and universal health are far more important than contrived wars all over the world trying to spread our way of thinking. But that's my way of thinking. But here are some questions, some real questions. Do you as an adult know how much of your tax dollars go to wars, contrived or not? Have you as an adult ever questioned how your tax dollars are being spent? Have you ever, as a good patriotic citizen, ever wrote a letter questioning how your government is being run? Are you satisfied with your elected leaders? If not, why do you keep sending them back into office? I know, you don't have time for that. I do, and I'm so very grateful that I can enjoy here and now thanks to the architecture of my friend Steve. This backyard is so gorgeous. To me, just to be able to think for myself makes me very privileged. And yes, I do have time for that.